Hello, everybody. Fine. And I am. One day I'm gonna be. One day I'm gonna be very good at streaming, but not today. Cool. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jay Santos. I'm the developer relations manager here at Anything World. I believe that you can see us, you can hear us. Hopefully so. If you don't, just let me know in the chat. And today I'm back. Today I've been away for a few weeks, so I'm finally back. And I'm not sure if this is the first stream here on our luxurious TV studios here at Anything World's world headquarters, but it's certainly my first stream. I'm super excited to be here. It's very nice. And we have a very, oh, thank you, Gordon. Sounds good. Let me know if you can hear the background music as well. But we have a very special guest today, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself. So Marta, take it away. Let her introduce yourself to the fine folks at home.
Sure. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, I can see you're in a new studio. I think I didn't see a live from the studio. Oh no, last week there was on a video, right?
Oh yeah, I was away last week, so I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, I haven't been in this studio, so I will have to check it out. But when I'm super quiet.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you hear me there?
super quiet. Okay, let's figure that out. Man, okay. We can do it. We can do it. It's we are smart people. We can do stuff.
Okay. I was supposed to.
Keep talking, and we will sort it out.
Okay. Loud music. Okay, so the music is loud, but I am silent. Okay.
How is it now? Let us know in the chat. It's always something.
Better.
Better. Great. Thank you, Gordon. Amazing. Okay, Marta, take two. Introduce yourself to the five folks at home.
Sure. So I'm Marta Marciszewicz. I joined Anything World almost at the beginning of the Anything World road. So I think it might be like 4 years ago already. Before the COVID-19 started. So I guess that would be in 2019. And I was first an intern, then I became a machine learning engineer as a full-time job. And then I moved on, and currently I'm the head of machine learning at our startup. My background is in computer science. That's the degree I got first, my bachelor's degree. And then I did master's in artificial intelligence in London, and then I joined the Anything World. So in Anything World, I was working from the very beginning on the development of our current product that you could probably see already on the webpage, the Animate Anything. I hope everyone had a chance to play with it. Yeah, maybe that's a short introduction. I had a chance to work on this product from the scratch.
Great. And it seems like we lost your image, and it's back. So I'm going to do some background magic here to try to avoid losing your camera. Amazing. Cool. Great. So we will today continue. Thanks for the intro, Marta. It's great to have you here. We're going to have. Oh my God, the window is just. I'm so bad at this. God. Why? Okay. This is good. This is fine. People can see Marta. Great. Cool. Marta is the best. I agree, Gordon. I do believe that people that work with machine learning are amazing. I have a couple of friends that work with it, and I always feel very inadequate having having worked. I'm studying computer sciences as well, but I feel very inadequate when talking with machine learning people. They are really good. So anyway, today we'll continue the development of our Seagull game, and I was thinking about it today, and I feel like today it's the beginning of the end of our Seagull game. We'll start to bid farewell to our good friend Seagull. We will start to do some wrapping up of the game, and today we will do in our stream we'll do the much belated organization and housekeeping of our scene, and also I will give it a try on an idea that Reinaldo gave in the last stream, that was to change the controls of the Seagull. But we'll start with housekeeping. Have you seen the Seagull game before, Marta?
No, and actually, do you think you can start from showing what's the stage? I mean, I saw some stages in between. So I know you were working on this game where the eagle is flying and collecting some objects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we were showing the trajectory of the eagle. I remember that. But maybe if you can show a quick overview of where we are at this point before we start the cleaning process.
Absolutely. So I think the last major thing we worked on in the game was on post-processing effects and some juiciness of the game. And then I'm just going to increase, you're a little bit small here. I'm just going to increase the size of you in the camera. There we go. So right now we have our lovely Seagull. And she flies around.
Can we play with it? Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So if I press shift, the Seagull flies faster. I'm gonna have to increase the speed. So we have this visual effect where you have the camera distortion when the Seagull is flying faster. And if I eat stuff, I'm definitely going to increase the speed of the Seagull. If I eat stuff, I get bigger and bigger and bigger. And
is the Seagull only collecting food, or is there any missions?
She'll be able to eat anything in the level, as long as the Seagull is big enough to eat it. So at one point you'll be able to eat like this shark on the top of the building here, and the buildings themselves. And this is part of what we're going to do today, because.
Okay, so.
Go ahead.
So the Seagull is growing when it's eating?
Yeah, it does. It grows when it eats stuff. Let me just. Where is the? Is it here that we have the? There we go. Fly speed. I'm just going to. The Seagull is like super slow right now. I'm just going to increase the speed a little bit. Maybe this is too fast. But yeah, so it grows in size. So you can basically in the beginning you can only eat the chips,
right.
But then you'll be able to eat other stuff. So yeah, one of the things I want to do today is much better. There you go. One of the things, because most of the objects are not prepared to be eaten by the Seagull, so this is something that we're going to do today. So like right now, if I try to eat the shark, what happens is I bump on the shark, I have a cloud of feathers, and I lose a little bit of my size. And if the Seagull gets small enough, I have a camera shake too. This is something that, and there's a bug where the particle system doesn't work every time, and we are going to tackle that. Maybe not today, but we're going to tackle that. And if the Seagull gets small enough, which should be on the next bump, maybe. One more. There you go, game over, and we are done. But today, so what I wanted to do today is, if you notice our game object list here, it's a mess. We have objects scattered all over the place. I just want to organize this a little bit. I'm going to start by that, and then I'm going to start working on the objects, because if I look at my chips, they have the collision, the sphere collider, which detects the collision between the seagull and the food. And so I know if the seagull has hit the food, is it big enough to eat the chips? If it does, then it eats, increase size, etc., etc. But if I take like this building here, it doesn't have a collider. So I think that if I fly the seagull towards the building, it will probably just fly through it. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So we need to fix this. And there's this super annoying bug where when I ramp up the speed and I apply this camera distortion, it does so incrementally, but when I brake, it is the change is sudden, and that's bothering me a lot. But I've been bumping my head and I cannot fix it. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. Right now, I'm going to do some housekeeping here.
Because you tell me, Jay, if all of these are coming from our platform.
Yeah, they're also, everything you see on the scene, everything, literally, the chips, the seagull, all the buildings, the shark, we have these cars, gas station, giant Roblox dude, all the buildings in the background, fountain, table, everything comes from our anything browser. So yeah, we all this lovely level we did with stuff from the Anything World browser, and they're all the handiwork of Jermaine, which is incredibly talented and was able to put together this magnificent level for us. And some cool things is we had these, I believe. Let me check. I believe that, oh no, yeah, the chicken, I was wondering if the big chicken was separate from the food truck, but no, it is a chicken food truck. But yeah, but we have, all these piggies, and the seagull will be able to eat them all, buildings. Oh yeah, this one is brilliant. We have this tractor being driven by a chicken, and the chicken is doing calculus. So this is quite impressive. There's a whole narrative behind the world building. It's not like we just randomly put stuff in the world. Absolutely not. But yeah, but this is all. I know, Shazab, but that's you have chickens, you have pigs. There's a lot of food going on here. But yeah, but this building, this level, I love it. Again, we have to give credit where credit's due. This is all Jermaine. He did a brilliant job with this level, and I love it. But anyway, we start.
The track reminded me a bit of the ice cream track we had.
Oh, at Develop?
I don't know if you had a chance to grab an ice cream from our Anything World ice cream track.
I didn't. When I arrived to pick it up, they were gone already.
No, that's easy.
People just love us for our ice cream. But yeah, we should put like this same truck, remove the chicken from the top and just make it with globby on the top. That would be nice.
Can I ask you the question? Are we going to publish the game?
Yes, that's a very good question. So yeah, as I said, we are, I'm going to wrap up the game, do some fixing of some stuff, and then we are going to put the game. Well, right now, the project, the Unity project, is available in Bitbucket for anybody that wants to download it and play around with it. And we're also going to publish the game. Well, the game is going to be this level here on itch.io, so people can download it and check it out. That's the plan. A few more sessions of organizing stuff, and the game should be ready to go.
That's great. And do you push like new updates of the code after every line?
Maybe, yeah. We haven't really decided about it yet. Perhaps add updates to it. I guess it's more of a right now. It's more of a proof of concept of what you're able to do using the browser and using anything world. Um, but yeah, maybe we can add levels to it. Absolutely. Again, I'm not. I'm a horrible artist, and this beautiful level was made by Jermaine. If I had to do something, you would probably have the seagull flying over a sandbox and eating scraps. I don't know, but now thanks to Jermaine, we have this amazing city. Uh, but maybe possibly we could add stuff to it for sure. Now, while I organize some stuff, Marta, uh, I'm not sure if you watch our streams or not, but one of the main attractions of the stream is me making a fool of myself, right? And I want to take advantage, that you're super expert in machine learning, and I think we could have a little chat about it. And I want to start by doing a little game, which is I'm going to describe how machine learning works, and then you are on a very very tiny nutshell, and then you're going to tell me how wrong I am, and then you're going to give a proper explanation for the people at home. How does that sound?
Okay, let's try.
Okay, great. So, what is machine learning? How machine learning works? So, machine learning works by you, the user, the developer, feeding a massive amount of data to an algorithm, so the algorithm can make decisions based on the data, and that data does not only need to be in large quantities, but it also needs to have a reasonable quality. And what do I mean by that? The example that was used when I was learning about machine learning was like, if you want to have, can you season the chickens? I don't know, Gordon, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure you can. While I describe machine learning, I'm going to give it a try. So you also need to have quality, high quality data. Like if I want to understand the price of real estate in London, it is not enough to know that a given real estate is in London. I need to know its exact position in the city. I need to know the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. I need to know its zip code, its latitude and longitude. So have high quality data, not only quantity but also quality. So the machine learning agent that you are training with this data can give you accurate information. So in a nutshell, provide massive amounts of data to a very smart algorithm, which in turn is going to give you good results. How did I do?
I think you are not far from true, but I think you understand everything very well.
Okay.
So the machine learning models, they try to understand and detect patterns in the data that you provide them.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, the more data you have, the better, because then the pattern is better visible, or if there's no pattern, then it's also clear. Like you mentioned also about the quality, that's another aspect that is very important. The more information that you provide to the model, the higher chance your future predictions the model makes are true.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know not only information about the cost but also about the location of the houses, like you mentioned, all the numbers of bedrooms, maybe whether the house is new, renovated, or old, etc. All this information is additional data that the model will use to then predict the patterns, and then based on the patterns it can predict the answers to the incoming information. So the data is super important. A lot of problems we are having in our solution is related to the lack of data that is of a proper quality and proper amount. So that is definitely a big challenge for many, many, I think, ML problems. The moment the data sets become available of a good quality and of a huge amount of examples, some problems can start getting solved easily. So yes, I think the data aspect is very, very important in machine learning. And machine learning has multiple different branches also. You have models that are, because maybe that's another, there are many different divisions of machine learning, but there are methods that are supervised and there are methods that are unsupervised, for example. I don't know if you heard anything about that. Okay.
Yes, please. Please do. I have a follow-up question for you, but please, continue talking about supervised and unsupervised. You know.
Okay. But are we checking serial knowledge? Do you know anything about that already?
Oh, yeah, but let's assume I don't.
Okay. So when it comes to the supervised solutions in machine learning, we already know the answers. We use labeled data, and what that means is that we have this information about the. Let's continue this example of the house market, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the examples of houses, and we know this information about the numbers of bedrooms and locations, etc. These are our data, and we also know the answer we want to predict. So we know the price. That's our label, and that's so the supervised learning is using the answers that we already know to learn the future answers. And here we have, for example, classification. So it decides there are two divisions in the supervised learning, the main points, which is classification and regression. And the difference between them is that regression is trying to predict a value that is not a finished set of answers. It's not from a finished set of answers. And then classification can pick from a group of answers that we want to predict. So, for example, when it comes to this problem of housing, when we want to predict the price of the house, because it's not a discrete value, then we will use the regression models for this. But if you want to classify the models, for example, for the expensive and cheap, I don't know if you can say that there are any cheap houses in London, but
It's all relative. It's all relative,
yes. But if you would like to make this division between the cheap and expensive houses, then you have two categories. One is the cheap and one is expensive, and you will then use the classification to classify a new coming house, whether it's in a group of cheap or the expensive houses. So that's, for example, the division of the supervised method, and they use so you need to have labels, so you need to have the answers that you want to find out in the future for the data that you are using to train the model. Is that what you heard about supervised learning?
Yes, I think that I have achieved the goal of making a fool of myself, given your brilliant explanation, and that is great. I'm glad I was not too much off the mark, but
Yes. Well, there's also the other part, which is unsupervised learning.
go ahead.
So this one is when you don't really have labels for your data. So, for example, here we knew the price of the houses, and we used that to predict whether, like, the price of the new house coming to the market, or we knew whether the house is expensive or cheap, and that's how we could train the model to then predict the new house, whether it's cheap or expensive. But sometimes we don't have that information in advance. We just have the information about the location of the house or the number of bedrooms in an apartment, the area of the apartment, etc. And we don't really know the price. also a couple groups of them. One of them is, for example, clustering, where we try to find similarities in the data and group them based on that. Um, so we will try to find, for example, houses that have the same location and the same size, and put them in one group, and houses that are having the same location but in the other side of London, and for example low prices, and try to put them in one group. And the algorithm will be trying to make to group the data basically. And then when you have a new kind of data, it will try to compare it with the data you already have to find one that this new coming example is matching best, and then based on this it will give you some assumptions that this is similar to all these examples, so probably the price will be similar.
That is that is a very good explanation. Thank you so much, Marta. I do need to study more machine learning. I started when I first joined Anything World. I just again to try to at least basically understand what the amazing machine learning team does here, but I definitely need to study way more about it. Now, I wanted to hear your opinion about something. I was listening to an interview with an AI specialist the other day, TV or the radio or whatever, and he said that the worst thing to happen with AI was the definition of the term artificial intelligence, because it passes to the general audience this perception that evil autonomous robots will be created that are going to enslave humanity at some point. And it feels that instead of artificial intelligence, the field should be called applied statistics, which kind of made sense for me. But again, I'm not a specialist. So, what do you think? What do you think about the term and about substituting it to applied statistics?
Well, generally, I agree with the fact that artificial intelligence is mostly maths and mostly statistics. And basically, when I first went for the AI course lectures, I was surprised that all of this is mostly based on maths. And that all these, for example, neural networks are basically mathematical equations. They are just implemented on the machine. So I think it has a lot in common with the statistics. And like I said, the main thing that machine learning does is it's predicting or discovering the patterns in data. So I guess it is related to statistics. I don't know if the name makes any change. I don't know if the name itself has any negative meaning. For me, actually, artificial intelligence is just a very attractive name, maybe I would say. When you name something related to statistics, it's like attractive. So I would say.
I was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think it's the whole negative connotation that AI have, right? Especially with popular culture. So I did a talk this week, and I was preparing some slides, and I wanted a slide with like a bad representation of AI and a good representation of AI, right? And I wanted to avoid cliches as much as possible. And so for bad AI, for evil AI, I used, I think, my favorite representation of it, which is HAL 9000 from 2001. But then I had a really hard time looking for a good popular culture representation of AI that wasn't that wasn't that much of a cliche, and I realized that maybe we need uh, more good examples uh, of AI in popular culture, just to dispel this notion that AI AI equals robots that are going to enslave humanity.
Yes, I think you're right. Like when I think of it, I can't really recall any movie or book that could be actually put AI
Yeah,
in a public light.
I mean, the most obvious one I thought about using is the Terminator from Terminator 2, but I don't know, it's just too cliche. I wanted something a little bit less known, and I couldn't find it. But before I ask you the next question, I just wanted to tell Gordon that. So he asked if I could season the chicken. So I have jumped into our browser and I added a salt shaker, a pepper grinder, and a stick of butter, so he can season the giant chicken. And while doing that, I learned something new. That this pepper grinder in French, as you can see here, it's called a. I'm just going to murder French now, but it's called. It seems like it's called poivrier. I'm assuming that is the pronounced in French, but yeah, it's called a poivrier. It's a pepper grinder. So yeah, Gordon, you can feel free to season the massive chicken with the massive salt shaker, the massive pepper grinder, and the massive stick of butter, which will be all, of course, edible in a very, very short time. So Marta, as you were talking about machine learning, I've already started cleaning up our scene, and it already looks so much better. Just thrown all the buildings into a building group, so now they are much clearer. I did the same thing with the animals, and same thing with the food. So it's looking much better. Now, you mentioned that you've been with the company for 4 years now. That's amazing. I'm coming into my 6th month, I believe, and it's always great to talk with people that has been a long time with the company. So and this is something I'm legitimately curious about, because again I tell people that I work with game development, but that's a lie. I just spend my day doing presentations and talking with developers, and I just tell people that work with game development just okay, feel like a developer. But tell us about your day to day. How is your workflow within the company and working on the amazing tools that we are creating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was changing since I joined, because the very first day we were spending mostly on the research. There were 3 of us, and we were trying to understand the problem that we want to solve, and what are the available solutions already, and where we can perform better, and what we can maybe get out of the solutions that already exist to increase our performance. So we spend every day mostly on reading papers and just researching through what's out there already, and the data sets that are available, and basically anything that we can use to help our cause. And then that was the early days. Then we started the implementation. So we had to create the entire infrastructure our system, and then we were implementing particular modules. We had to chop all this. The entire platform actually consists of multiple different modules, microservices we call them, that are working together. So we have to plan this, design the entire flow, and work on each step at a time. So that was involving a lot of, that part of my job involved a lot of coding, a lot of machine learning model training, data cleaning, and data augmentation, methods implementation, and all sorts of tasks we all the new code that is being added, and that's why a lot of peer reviews. But I find some time as well to implement new aspects, and recently, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's some fireworks going on.
Oh my God! Yeah, go check it out.
No, I'm just wondering if you can hear the noise.
Oh no, I can't. No, it's fine. It's okay.
Okay. Recently my time is taken a lot by the technical years, but what I wanted to say is that when we released Animate Anything platform, there was a lot of work related to that because we had to modify slightly our code that was before running in the background to be available publicly for the users and be able to run fast enough for the users to use it. So there was a lot of work involved in this, and we recently finalized that and released our Animate Anything feature on the web. So that's available now, and we can move on to new tasks and new features that we will be working on next year.
And I am, and I say that without any exaggeration. I am always, whenever I submit a model to be rigged and animated, I'm always amazed with the fact that this thing just works and do what it does. It's always, I was like, how is this possible?
The amazing work of our team. We have Divya, for example, that was working on a lot of the aspects of the rating task, and Leo was working on the fine-tuning of our results. We have Albert overlooking everything, Francisco improving the classification, Varun working on another rigging method. So we have a lot of team members involved in this project, and that's why there you go.
And you mentioned something that caught my attention that I wanted to ask you to tell more about, if you can, of course. So you at some point you mentioned something about cleaning up data sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, as I so precisely described, the training data sets are massive, right? And what exactly does cleaning it up mean? I'm assuming that you don't just go item by item of the data set to validate it, of course. What exactly cleaning it up means?
Sure. So we're working mostly with the 3D data, and there are some common issues that we can see in many models. So by cleaning, I mean that we implement functions that are getting rid of those issues. For example, there can be duplicated vertices in 3D models. So there's multiple vertices that are in the same location, and sometimes it can increase the complexity of calculations when you have this type of duplicates, or lead to some other problems. So we prepared a code that is removing those duplicates, replacing them with a single vertex. And there are multiple different problems in 3D meshes that you can encounter that are common among different meshes. So we can just implement all of them and run the data through that cleaning code that will just standardize it. I think this is actually a pretty common thing in EML systems, that the data you obtain are very often very messy. For example, if you work on medical data, you get information from different hospitals, and they all have a different system of storing information. If they use databases, they may have different volumes with different names, and then information inside of this is stored in a different format. So you need to standardize all this, maybe maybe you're not interested in their history of disease, and you can erase all that and focus on the information that you're actually interested in. So that's a bit of a that's what the cleaning of the data means.
I see. I see. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, as I said, I started to study it, but it's I think it's pretty amazing. I studied some basic AI in college way back when. I've graduated back in 2002, so it's been a little while since I studied AI, but just
When you were studying, did you learn about decision trees? I think that's like the first model that I learned about during my computer science course.
yeah, I remember studying decision trees in AI, but I don't remember a lot about it because I never had the chance of using it on my career. So I just studied and it kind of just went away with time. But that was the extent of my AI studies. What else? If anybody have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll be more than glad to. It's something that I should have told people in the beginning of the stream, but yeah, if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat and we'll be glad to cover it. A little bit off topic on machine learning. Do you like video games, Marta? Do you play? I study computer sciences because I wanted to learn how to make games, and little did I know that I would spend basically 2 years studying calculus instead of touching computers. I was lied to. But what about you? Do you like video games? Do you play? Do you?
Yes. So these days I don't really play independent video games, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was younger, and I am retired, I used to play games like Sing, for example,
Mm-hmm.
when you think of house and alternative life. I was very amused by them back then that they could allow so many different scenarios, like.
I know. It was amazing, right?
Yeah. I was like, okay, they couldn't predict that I will do this and this and this. How do they know, like, how to act in this situation, etc. I used to play also games, like racing games. I really like that. But I think I played on one stream a game before, which was a racing game, and I'm really bad at it. And it's really the fact that I could, like, watch the views around the main road driving. I guess that was the interesting aspect for me. So the worlds that were created around.
That is, that is, sorry, that is definitely Gordon's fault because he always, when he plays games on streams, he plays the easy games and then he puts us to play the hard games. It's shame on him.
And then I think I played also like maybe a bit old school games, but like games related to Disney movies. So the Lion King game where the lion jumping some rocks goes to different levels, or some Tarzan game. There is this one where you're a Tarzan and you're jumping from tree to tree and stuff like that, fighting with a leopard.
I remember I remember the Tarzan game. I think I played it a long time ago.
Yeah, me too. Because I was back then a big Disney fan. I was watching all the Disney movies multiple times in a row because we had them all on my tapes back in the day. So I didn't have access to unlimited amount of the Disney movies, and I was watching for the same Disney movie every second weekend for 8 years. I was always fascinated. Like every time I watched it, I think I felt like it's the first time I see it, but I wonder how my parents survived that. Anyway, because I was a big display fan, whenever my dad managed to get a hold of some Disney game, I was playing that. I remember I played on some PP lunch game. I don't know if you know this character.
I do, yes.
It's this girl with like red hair and
Yeah.
she was a very independent girl, and I guess I really enjoyed that character, the books about her, etc. So I know I played that game as well, and yeah, I think that's it.
So
I
now you,
played some internet games also back in the days. I remember I was playing some game where I was like a little devil, and I was shooting an arrow, and I had to like burst the bubbles, so I could move only right and left, and then shoot this arrow, and I had to hit the bubbles.
oh, that, you know what? That rings a bell.
Yeah, and every level the bubbles were different, and when you hit the bubble, it was separating into multiple bubbles, smaller bubbles, and it was like when the bubble hit you, you were dying. I remember I spent hours on this game.
Ah, I think,
And we
yeah.
would at two-player mode, so sometimes with my friends we were spending hours together
You know,
doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, you know what? I remember that. Wow, what was the name of that game?
Yeah, I think it was
Oh,
something
man.
like Diablo.
Yeah. Oh, no, 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 that's gonna bother me.
Oh, okay, Diablo I guess is a bit more advanced.
So you asked before if the seagull would get bigger. So here's our seagull in its massive glory. Look at the size of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And actually, if the animation is also done by our platform in the second.
Yep. Everything you see here,
Amazing.
it's anything world. Well, anything. Not 99%. The visual effects are Unity, but all the 3D assets and the animations associated with it, they're all anything world. There you go. Beautiful. So I did. I am. One other thing I want to fix, and that's we're gonna have a bug squashing stream, not today because I need to figure out how to fix those. But one thing that bothered me is that sometimes our seagull rotates to a weird rotation. Let me just try to see if I can do it. Like it becomes sideways, and there you go, like this. See? Yeah. So I need to sort that out as well. But yeah, but not today. Today is housekeeping, and but look at this, Marta. Look how cleaner things are, and there's still a little bit of stuff that I can do here, but it's so much better.
There is a big difference.
I'm so much happier. Let me see if I can do it before here. I know that there is a Unity command that expands. There you go. Look at how it looked before. This chaos. It's utter chaos, and now we have everything under a lot of parents, and I'm very happy with it.
I found the name of that game with the little devil. It's called Bubble Trouble.
Bubble Trouble, yes. Thank you. Yes, I remember that game. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. A fond memory that I have of gaming was when there was this point and click adventure game. It was the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade game, and that was right when it was kind of launched around the same time that computers started to have sound cards. Remember that? No. Before that.
No, because like my memories of the computer back in the day that I remember was that I had to connect to the internet. Like I had to turn the internet on and off because it was so like expensive.
Yes.
The entire time. So I could only connect it for a little bit when I had to use it, and then I had to disconnect it. So that's what I remember about the computers back in the day. And I think like at this time I wasn't really diving into the cards, the graphic cards, the sound cards, etc.
So yeah, so a long time ago, yeah, computers didn't have like sound systems like have. They had one crappy speaker within them that was basically just able to do beeps and boops, right? And then all of a sudden, this thing called sound cards showed out that could make amazing sounds on your computer, and it was awesome. And and my dad got one of those, and I was playing. So Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. There's a point of adventure. At the beginning of the game, Indiana Jones shows up on screen and he's soaking wet, right? And he starts walking, and as he walks, he does like this splosh, splosh, splosh sound because he's all wet, right?
Yeah.
And then he's walking on a hardwood floor, and then he's walking on a carpet, and then my dad he just said, "Why does he make the same sound when he's walking on the hardwood floor and the carpet? He should make different sounds." And that was like, for the time, that was like rocket science, and he couldn't believe that a game wouldn't be able to do that. So I always remember that, this weird phone stories of very old games. So back into the machine learning topic. Of course, I follow it. I kind of understand what's going on a consumer perspective. But and my perception as it is probably the perception of a lot of people in the world is that things are evolving pretty quick. Like, you compare what you were able to do a year ago, a couple of years ago. I remember one of the first things that amazed me was, I don't remember what was the name of the tool, but it's just a prompt, and the guy said just create this web page with a text field and a button that says search, and like the code was generated. And I said, okay, that's awesome, right? And we came a long way from that. But honestly, I have a hard time visualizing where we go from here. What we'll be able to do, like in 6 months, in a year, in a couple of years. I think that I can see an improvement in quality, especially when you talk about generative art tools like Midjourney, but that's it. And so, what is your perspective? What is your view like? How do you feel the field is going to evolve in the near future?
In the very near future, I think that's mostly what you mentioned. So there will be just the improvement in the quality and the accuracy of the results we're getting in the near future. Because as you know, there are imperfections still in this. As far as I know, the generating models have problems, for example, with fingers and details. I don't know if you had a chance to see this trend on Instagram when you're generating your yearbook photos. So basically, you provide the system with. Can you hear me there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You provide a system with your images, and then it generates your yearbook photos from back in the days. And then there's a problem, for example, that I noticed in the way it's generating the glasses, that they are like half disappearing, are there. And fingers, you might have 5 or 10 or any number. So there are still issues that are there, and I think the newly generated systems will be trying to like deal with those. So probably in the nearest future we will be just seeing the improvement of what we already have, but I think the new ideas will be also developing and starting to evolve there. development, every small improvement, every new ChatGPT version is a step towards that, right? So, um, like
But it,
ultimately, I think we want to create a system that can think like a human and create like a human, and you can have a conversation with it like with a normal human. I don't know how much you had a chance to use ChatGPT. Like I was using it a bit, and I was asking it to help me make some decisions, and it never actually wanted to help me. Like it was always saying that, well, yeah, it's your choice, something like this form. So it never wanted to give me like the final decision that it would make, for example. So I guess it's not yet like a human because the human could give me their final opinion, let's say. I
right.
know this might be a bit of a restriction, I think they want to make sure that this system is not, making decisions for the people and then it's blamed for their wrong decisions. I guess companies are trying to, be on the safe side and not allow the systems to make the decisions, and that's why they use these prompts of like, it's your decision in the end. But I guess that, like I would like to have a system that is able to make its own decisions and then present me their point of view.
Yeah, I remember that back in the World Cup, I think I asked ChatGPT who would win the World Cup, and he was very non-committal. He said, "Yeah, I don't. Yeah, don't ask me."
Yeah.
But I
Exactly. It was like this, like I would maybe do this or maybe do this depending on this, and it's in the end all your decision. So yeah, I guess there is still a way to improve some of the results, unless it is having its own decision that's just forbidden to tell me.
yeah, I've been using it. I'm not gonna say a lot, but I used it quite sometimes to generate code for me, especially when doing stuff on Unity, and I want to know how to do some I'm gonna use the term some non-creative stuff, right? And for this usage, I found it way more effective and practical than doing a Google search and having to pore over forum posts or YouTube tutorials and try to find the right stuff. So to this usage, to me, it's quite handy, Actually, one of the one of the things I want to do once we're done with the Seagull game or in parallel, I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. I saw this guy. I was talking with Gordon earlier today about it. I saw this guy that there's this super popular VR game called Beat Saber, and he recreated Beat Saber using only AI for the art assets, for the coding, for everything. And sorry. So he used the FRV for art assets and code and everything, and I thought it was quite impressive. And I'm thinking about doing something similar. I just need to figure out what game I'll try to reproduce, But I think it's at the same time, I think it is quite a thing that a person is able to do something like that, like recreate a whole game using AI. Because it empowers people. Like when I was with Unity, and Unity still says that gold companies democratize game development, right? So it is allow a person to have no experience with coding to be able to create a game, and in that sense, I think it is really, really, really powerful to be able to do stuff like that using AI. But also, on the other hand, there's the whole discussion, which I think it is valid and important about, what does that mean to people in the industry, right? To artists and programmers, and how is that going to affect the the employability of these people in the future, you know. So but right now, I mean, when I use ChatGPT, I was quite impressed with what it's able to do. But it is a bit. I don't want to use scary because I just think it's silly. But there are aspects that needs to be considered. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, and I didn't really have that much of a chance to use it for like
And
both
if-
generations, just a little bit because we try to implement things on our own. But from your experience, do you feel like without programming and coding knowledge, would you still be able to use the answers that provide you with?
Yes.
I feel like, like it can generate you a function or it can generate you a piece of code, but if you don't know what that is, how will you actually be able to like use it in your final product, etc.?
No, that is a very very valid point, and I totally agree with you. Right? If you give me a tool and I have no idea how to use that, I mean, if you give me a Geiger counter, I don't know how to read it, right?
Yeah.
I mean that. It's a number on the screen. What does that mean, right?
Yeah.
It is a tool, and you need to know how to use the tool. But that's the thing. I mean, what about the people that know how to use the tool? What's going to happen with them? You know, and I mean, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue, but it's something that needs to be considered, right? The way I see right now is these tools will help you, like it helped this guy to recreate the game, you know? And by help, I mean, it's something that it's like the game engines already do to you. So here I am in Unity, I'm creating this game here, and Unity have a lighting system, which I can like take my game light and I can change the light color to a different tone, and that affects my game, right? So if I put a red light in my game, everything have now a reddish hue. So Unity and of course, and this lighting systems, as you can see underneath the Seagull, it's casting the shadow of the Seagull. So within Unity provides it to me. There's this lighting system that does all this lighting logic for me, and I don't have to worry about it, and it allows me to work in the game itself, you know, to work on the creative part, let's put it like that. Same thing with physics and a whole bunch of other systems within Unity. So maybe, you know, the ideal scenario is that it's going to be like this. It's going to be something that will free us up to focus on the more creative aspect of the endeavor,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, I totally agree. Like, I think it's supposed to be a tool that is just going to help us. Like, if you're a programmer, there's just a certain amount of code that you can implement in a single day.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can ask a program to implement this function for this and you just like copy and use that, you can implement just more.
Yeah.
So I think that's a tool that is going to help us produce more things faster, but not necessarily replace. I mean, even like I have a friend that is an architect, and she's now terrified with the fact that AI is able to generate all the interiors, and she feels like her work will become just not needed. But I always try to tell her that, like you can use it and make your work faster. It can create the prototypes for you. It can give you some certain like basic ideas that you will develop on further, or if there are side projects that you're not that interested in, you can get them done by the AI, and you can focus more on those that are more interesting for you and you feel like they will develop you more. So I try to convince her that it's just a tool that can help her produce more and faster rather than something that will completely replace her. Because you always need to know how to use this tool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the AI can generate an idea for me for the interior of my house, but I will not be able to like properly choose the furniture always a need for the people to use that tool that can help. Also the same thing with the doctors. Like I feel like the AI can help you predict illnesses, but it's in the doctor's work to decide whether that prediction is correct or no, or what to do if the system cannot really properly decide. Like I think it's the same here. Like if you get a piece of code, you will not know how to fix it if there is an error if you're not a programmer, right? Like,
Right.
you can copy and paste it, but maybe it's not going to do what you actually wanted, and then it's just one single line that needs to be changed. But you will not know that if it's the first time you see a code.
Yeah, absolutely. I paused the game here for a second because we are on a landmark of the Seagull game, because right now the Seagull is able, you have this group of humans here, the Seagull now is able to eat humans and become massive. Look at that. Awesome, great. Yeah, so now, humans are edible, so that's it's good. Speaking about the demise of the human race, now, seagulls are able to eat humans. I cleaned up my game, which I've been promising for a long time, and we made headways into setting up new objects to be edible. So I think that I'm gonna call it a day, because we are approaching 1 hour of stream, and I think it was one of the most enjoyable ones I had, because it was a very good conversation, Marta. Thank you so much. It was lots of fun. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed to hear your insights about machine learning and remember old video game history.
Yeah.
So
But now you have to play the bubble trouble.
I will try. You know what? Maybe not. I'm pretty much a novice when it comes to streaming. I'm afraid that if I play the game on stream, I'm going to be struck down because of copyright. So I never know how these things work.
Okay.
But I'll play it on my free time for sure. Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah. Thanks again, Mara. It was great. I really appreciate your time and your insights and the conversation.
Thanks for having me on the night.
As usual, so I'm going to upload this version of the game to our big bucket. We will share the link on our social medias. If you enjoyed it, tell your friends, let them know that we're here every Wednesday, 4 p.m. London time. We're around, developing the game, having chats. It's always a very good time. Follow us on social media on Twitter and LinkedIn and TikTok. Join us at Discord. You can find all the links on our website, anything.world. I think it's probably somewhere in the back here on our lovely, again, our amazing TV studios. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week, same time with our next stream. Thanks again, Marta, and bye.